The other question, and I think this really fits into what Rocky does because it's about collecting feedback in real time. But one of the things I've heard and noticed is when we collect feedback really matters within organizations. And it's a hurdle because if we don't collect it at the right time, we might not be able to use it as effectively. So, the best example someone gave me is that typically during the onboarding period, we'll collect feedback throughout the onboarding, perhaps, but certainly at the end of the 3 or 6 months. What happens is we lose all the feedback mechanisms for when someone's actually in the job. And the point of onboarding is to prepare someone to perform their job. So, we lose the feedback of saying, now you're in the job, did all the content we gave to you during onboarding actually prepare you to do your job better? And I think that point matters. And I guess as well, like from a content perspective, we'll often send surveys about how useful was this course or piece of content, but detached from the
Mm.
moment someone is actually trying to use it or apply it to solve a problem. So I guess generally your thoughts on why when you collect feedback matters, but particularly the real-time insights, I think people would be really great to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's. I obviously have a personal preference for real time for the type of content we do. Like we have a lot of, for example, people who use it for SEO purposes. Like I've landed on a page, you promised me you were going to deliver me X, and we're trying to capture have we delivered on that intent really quickly. The main problem we've got if we don't do a real time survey is we are all bombarded more than ever by comms from every single angle. We're advertised more than we've ever been in the history of mankind. At any one time, I might accidentally pick up my phone and go on 2 or 3 social networks. I'll quickly go onto LinkedIn. I've got emails pinging. I've got Slack pinging. Like, I've got an incoming call. And you're like, I've got so many comms happening to me. It could be even a 30-minute window from when you completed that course that you've been given by your L&D team to 30 minutes later. You're like, hang on a minute, what was that about again? Did it solve the problem? Then you've got to go back into your memory, and our memories have always been the same. Like we've evolved a bit, but we're not perfect.
Yeah.
And it's memory loss. Like it's not saying it is a bad thing, but there's too much going on. We simply cannot remember unless we're collecting things in real time. And again, you're just breaking the data. And if you start sending out surveys on something that happened, the longer the time frame it is, the worse their data will be, and you'll make decisions which simply don't work. Whereas if you're collecting in real time, you can get kind of real visceral responses. If the thing was frustrating, it was hard to do, someone will go, "Oh, this was hard. I didn't understand it," and you're like, "Okay, great. Thank you. Like, how can we improve on that?" And at the same time, for measurement and internal teams, like if you are really landing it and going, "Yeah, I'm ready. I can't wait to do the job. Like, I completely got the training. This was a really good course. Brilliant. Like,
Yeah.
you're good to go." So there's huge benefit of it, and it's simply just because we're inundated with other stuff at the moment. We have to try and get those responses as quick as we can.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think you hit on two great points there. The sample size will diminish because, like you said, unless we capture it natively, I go back to my day. Let's say 100 people went to this resource, and optimistically, the average open rate of an email is 20-ish%. And let's say 5% of those people click through. We already see how small the sample size could be versus
Mm.
collecting it in real time. And then, like you said, the quality of the data, can it be trusted if it's someone half remembering a course they did, but they don't really remember the ins and outs of it? And how useful can that be in improving what I do? And yeah, it's interesting. We have a similar feature within some of our content in How Now where people can
Mm.
rank how useful it was in real time. And I think that is such a benefit to people because they, like you said, they can get a real insight of the person. And you mentioned intent earlier as well, actually. It's in that moment of intent. So if I go to find a piece of content, it's because I'm trying to solve a problem. So my mindset is this, the intent is to solve the problem, and I'm most invested in the problem at that time. So I'll give you the best feedback, I'd imagine. Whereas later, I'm not trying to solve the problem anymore. I might have found a different way to do it. So the type of feedback you'll get will be completely different.
Yeah, yeah, completely
Yeah.
agree.
I also think sometimes there's a challenge with giving people the tools to give feedback usefully. So someone gave me a great lesson on this a while ago, but if we say our feedback culture is not great, the idea isn't then we just send out more surveys if people don't have the capability to give good feedback. So are we upskilling people or giving them the tools to say, this is how I frame a piece of feedback so it's useful. So I guess there's also this angle of within a company, you can help people by giving them the tools and a process to send useful feedback. So I guess there's that sort of angle to it as well.
Yeah, it completely needs a strategy as well. It's sometimes you can collect feedback for the sake of it. People are inundated with surveys and things like that all the time. But if there's a clear like hierarchical strategy, is like why we do feedback loops and like here's what we're trying to gain or learn or improve, whether it's a process, whether it's content, whether it's internal kind of culture and feeling towards the brand. Like there's got to be that goal, there's got to be that strategy, and then it kind of filters down from it in terms of how you deliver it, which teams have access, which teams have the tools, and then what the culture of response actually looks like between the two.